Welcome, everyone, to the Education Exchange. I'm Jeremy Caius, Superintendent of Tolleson Union High School District, and our guest today is Mr. Ignacio Castellum, the owner of Rytan Construction Company, and he's going to tee off the conversation on what it's like to work in the construction industry. So, Ignacio, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Ignacio Castellum. I'm the owner of Rytan Construction. Super blessed to be here today, the Tolleson Union High School District office, to really talk to you about what I do and really how I got into the owning construction business, a general contracting business.
All right, so let's talk about that. What does it mean to own your own general contractor? You're in the construction business. Like, what exactly does that entail? What do you have to oversee for a construction project?
You know, that's a fantastic question. Thank you for asking that question. Never in a million years that I imagined being an owner of a general contracting business, let alone any business. Although growing up, it was a wish to actually own my own business. Didn't know what type of business it would be, but one day I always wished that I would own a business so that I could control what went on throughout the business. And thankfully, 5 years ago, I bought the business and been blessed that we've been successful working 98% in the K through 12 market, which means education market, and dealing with schools, and that's where our niche is 100% K through 12.
So you're out there, you're building schools, building classroom buildings, performing arts centers, gymnasiums, and we have a lot of students that when they go to graduate, they get closer to graduation, they sit and think about their future, and the first thought that goes through their head is, I cannot see myself locked up in a cubicle, right? That if you stick me in a cubicle, I think I might just rot away. Like I want to be working with my hands. I want to be outdoors. I want to breathe some fresh air. I want to build things and be able to take a step back and say, wow, look guys, we built that.
Right.
What exactly does that look like? Like what are the trades that are popular right now? What are some trades that they can get involved in if they eventually want to work their way up through the trades and make it as high as you have to owning your own general construction business? Like, where do they start? What's a good trade for them to start in?
That's a fantastic question. I mean, being a general contractor, we deal with several trades, several subcontractor trades, whether it's electrical, drywall, roofing. I mean, there's a lot of trades that are needed out in our industry, not only as a general contractor, just as individuals can make a lot of money working as an independent contractor, whether you're doing residential, commercial. But the important part is we have the need in our contracting that we have a shortage of a workforce labor. We don't have enough electricians, roofers that are in the market. I mean, we're amongst us GCs, we have a certain pool of companies that we pull from because they are K through 12 experts, but anyone can do it. We're being born and raised in South Phoenix. There's always an opportunity. It's not whether it's just South Phoenix, North Phoenix, West Phoenix, just in general, wherever you are or wherever you're located, the need for more labor, more experienced individuals, whether you're an electrician, roofer, like as I mentioned, drywaller, there's a lot of money to be made. And the way you get there is, one, finish high school. And again, whether you decide to go to college or not, it's okay. You can attend a technical training school or, whatever schooling there is so that you can learn the trade and be really good at what you do. And the rest is history. The money will all fall in place, which is what happened to me. Is I went through elementary school, graduated high school, and from there, I did attend a technical training school as well, which led me to work at Intel for 14 years. And then after that, I got hired on to be a subcontractor that did automation. And next thing you know, everything else is history from there.
That's a great success story. Let's talk about some of the trades. And construction industry is one of those industries where people worry, where it could be feast or famine. Like there could be more times where you're seeing a lot of construction going on. We know we went through the Great Recession. Some of the construction got scaled back. which of the trades do you view as no, you're always going to have work? Like if you pick this trade, don't worry whether it's heavy building season, low building season, like you're always going to have work.
Again, another great question. I feel that the trades that you will always have work are the electrical field, the carpentry field, drywall. Again, these are trades that we need these on a daily basis, right? Whether you're hanging a ceiling fan, well, guess how many people hang ceiling fans a day? A lot, right? Most of us are not experienced to be able to go get on a ladder and hang a ceiling fan, or some people may be afraid of heights, but there are experts that you call and say, hey, I have a family member that's an electrician, so guess what? That electrician's going to come and hang that light for you or that ceiling fan. Next thing you know another one is the carpentry, right? We all like additions to our homes or whatever it is. Well, guess what? You call those individuals as well that can come in and frame your house. You need your electrician to come in there and run the power, and you need your drywaller to come in there and put it all together and make it look nice and paint it. So these are a few of the trades that I feel are very important, and not only are needed. With throughout the whole COVID, we were a necessity, so we never stopped working. Right? If anything, we got really busy during the whole COVID. The whole COVID. I don't want to say fiasco, but I mean it was just an unfortunate event that we never thought would happen. But we were blessed to. We even got more busier, and obviously that's what enabled us to even grow twice the size that we were when we first started 5 years ago.
So you touched on a few great points there. First highlighting that's some of the key ones. Electrician, if you become an electrician, you're always going to have work. Carpentry, things of that nature. And you pointed out that it's not just new construction. So sometimes we can see new construction slow down, but you mentioned renovations, and that even when new construction is slowing down, all of the buildings we have in place, they're still aging. People still need to go in and renovate those buildings to keep them functional again. If you have 100-year-old, business or school, like things don't last forever. You're going to need that electrician. You're going to need that carpenter to come in. And you also, mentioned that those in the trades, although you have your favorites of who you're going to in each of the different trades, the trades themselves, they don't stick to just K-12.
Correct.
That they'll work in all the different industries. So healthcare,
yes,
commercial, like they'll go to other industries. And so even when we're not seeing construction here in the K-12 market, there is construction and renovation in other markets, and those trades are then staying actively engaged, working in those other markets.
Absolutely. And one of the trades that I failed to mention, which is HVAC, which obviously living in the desert, HVAC is super critical, right? You would need air conditioning when it's hot, and you need to be, we like to be warm. Us natives from Arizona love to be warm, when in the wintertime, which most people won't say it's not really a winter, but to me it is, being a native. But HVAC is another trade that is super, super critical in our industry, whether you're doing it for K-12, healthcare, home, residential, it doesn't matter. That's another important trade that will never go away, right? That's a must-have, not a need-to-have trade, as well as the electricians, carpentry, drywallers, all those trades that are super critical. But again, I like to focus on those trades because, again, whether you're doing it for us, you can be an entrepreneur and have your own business and do that side work, whether it's, let's say we're not doing new construction, but we're doing a lot of renovation. All those trades are all required so that you're always going to be busy.
Oh, that's another great one. The HVAC, I'm going to harp a little bit more on the AC part of the HVAC, so not the heating and the ventilation, but that air conditioning.
Yes.
Yeah, when we're setting records here for a number of days with 115 degrees, and it doesn't seem like it's getting better year after year, I'll agree with you. We're always going to need someone taking care of that air conditioning. And those units, unfortunately, as good as they are, don't last forever. So they're always replacing units. I know here at the school district, it feels like we're constantly replacing those units. So yes, definitely some great trades. Now, when we look at these different trades, now, obviously, you came up through your own path. All the GCs are all going to have a different path. Just like if you're to talk to superintendents, they'll tell you they have their own path of how they got there. But now that you're in this role, so you're now the owner, you're the general contractor. You get to see you've made it to the show. If I was a football player and I made it to the NFL, I get it. I made it to the show. You in the construction industry, you own your own GC. You've made it to the show. You've made it there. Now that you've had time to reflect on the position, now that you've been in this role for some time now, what do you see what knowledge has brought the greatest benefit to you? That if someone was like, yeah, I'm good with starting off with HVAC, I know I'm going to make good money there, I can make good money as an electrician, but really they want to be you.
Yeah.
What do you see as like then learn this trade or study this, and when you get the opportunity, you will be successful in this role if you can build these other pieces first?
Actually, that's a really good question. The most important thing that, again, whether you're doing construction or whether you're doing, selling pencils or anything, right, is communication. Is that you have to learn how to communicate and connect with individuals, right? Whether I'm selling pencils or I'm selling an HVAC unit, if I'm not communicating well, if I don't have those good communication skills where I could connect and explain to these individuals why they need this, then you're not going to be successful, right? Is what sets us apart, I feel, is I connect. When I go out and meet clients, new clients or existing clients, it's listening. That's the most important part, is listening and then communicate, right? You listen more and then you speak and, oh, okay, this is what I could do for you. But if you're not good in communicating with individuals and connecting, then obviously we all can improve in that field. But one of the most important parts that I say is communication is key.
That's a great point. So when you guys are out there and you'll see a lot of people will take the different jobs in the trades, but the ones that are rising to the top of becoming a general contractor or even advancing within their own field, they got to know they're building more than buildings. They're building relationships. So it's a great point that you bring to light, that being able to communicate, work with others, that if you're going into the construction industry and you just want to be hands-on by yourself, throw some headphones on, slam a hammer, that'll get you by maybe for just staying in the trade. But if you want to make it to the top, you got to harp on that communication piece. Then you got to be able to talk with people.
Absolutely. And again, you're not only dealing with with their clients, right? It's an employees, right? You want to make sure that your employees trust in you, that you're going to make the right decisions or pick the right jobs that are going to be a successful or a success story for the company, right? And not only are we dealing with employees, clients, architects are key as well, right? They're the ones that lay the foundation of what the client's vision is. We execute that vision that they have, that the client has, and then it's to the architect, and then the architect, we work together with them, we communicate back and forth on, hey, this is going to work or this may not work. But again, that's where the communication piece comes into play, is that it's a full circle. You're communicating with the client, the architects, your employees. I mean, just in general, subcontractors, right? Super, super critical. Without our subcontractors, trades that we're nobody, right? Which is why I always, I preach to our employees is that our communication needs to improve. And I always talk about continuous improvement. If we can all continuously improve, we'll make this world a better place. And not only the world, but really what we do and what we're really good at.
Absolutely. So when you're looking, so since we're getting into football season here, so when you're looking at the whole game plan, basically you have the general contractors, kind of like the coach.
Yes.
But then you have those subs, or like the players on the field. They're out there, and you have the owner in the press box that's giving you a vision. But between you and the architect, you guys are actually coaching the players on the field who are going out there then and executing. So while someone might specialize in one trade, and they might go to trade school for one trade, then really what brings it all together is not one person knowing how to do their thing in isolation, but the ability for everybody to work together then on that common goal, which is to achieve that vision for the owner.
Absolutely. And obviously working with others is super critical, especially in our trades, right? As a general contractor, we hire various subcontractors. And what that means is whether you're drywalling or the framer, for example, those are the guys that are first framing things in. If they don't know that where the electrician's going to come in next, well, they may end up putting a 2x4 in an area that's going to impede, hey, this is where my temperature sensor was supposed to be. Well, you kind of mess them up as well. So you want to make sure that you look at the overall picture as to what is really going to be built, so that if you do identify an issue, you identify it early so it doesn't cost us, or it could be costly at the end. So again, knowing the big picture, the roadmap, what is it going to look like? So, which is important, why I say, hey, even our new employees coming in, or let's say someone's coming, green out of high school, is I'll say, hey, go learn how to read some plans, some blueprints. Super, super critical. And it may be a 6 to 8 week course, but they'll learn a lot, because then you're actually learning how to read a map of how it's going to, what's going to take for us to, at the end of the day, build this building, and for all of us to be successful.
So in addition to being good at communication, that if you're going to go out, first go to a trade school, learn a trade, then you're going to come into the construction industry, you're going to know that trade. If they want to continue to get ahead within that industry, not only do they need to be good at communication, but they need to take initiative to get themselves cross-trained.
Absolutely.
That don't limit yourself to just knowing the trade that you learned in school. Once you start to get out the job sites, start learning some other things that make you more valuable by getting yourself cross-trained in these other areas of the construction industry.
Absolutely. And a lot of that will come within time, right? We're being out on an active job site, right? Where you're learning, or you're meeting different trades and talking to these individuals like, hey, are you good with me putting this, hey, just putting up this wall this way, or is it going to mess you up? And again, that's where that communication and that relationship building comes from. Yeah. But then also the most important part, one of the most important part is writing, right? At the end of the day, we have communication, super critical, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to put that in whether it's an email or report, so that individuals know what you're doing on a daily basis. And if you're not writing well or communicating well, then at the end of the day, something may be taken out of context.
So not just verbal communication, written communication. What else, in addition to being strong in communication and all forms of communication, someone who has initiative to get themselves cross-trained? When you're looking at a construction site, and let's say you need a new project manager, you want someone to lift up to superintendent for job sites. What other skills are you looking for where you're like, that one right there? He or she, they've got it. I want to bring them up now. Maybe you're stealing from a sub. I don't know where you get all your employee pool. You're like, that's someone I need to elevate on my team. I need him on my team. I need him in important role. Like, what other skills are you looking for to make that decision, make that call that you want to bring them up the ladder?
Work ethic. That's super critical. I mean, I will hire someone without the experience, but they have the good work ethic and the great attitude to learn. I will hire those individuals in a minute, because I can train them the way we want to train them, right? So if you're good at a certain trade, but let's say you're sluggish in getting up, and it's okay. I can be there at 8, while in construction, we get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Because at the end of the day, in Arizona, as we know, in summer, sun comes up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So guess what? We want to beat the heat. So by 1 o'clock, when the sun is blaring, we're on our way home to our families. So that's, again, I will hire more on work ethic than anything else, right? Work ethic and attitude. If you have the drive and you're willing to learn, I'll teach you. So those are communication, work ethic, attitude. I look for those, and I can hire, or I can interview 20 people, and out of those 20 people, I promise you maybe a handful may have that, where you can see that they have the good work ethic, that attitude that nothing's, beneath me, right? And me being the owner of Rytan Construction, I tell all of our employees that we're all equal, right? If they're pushing a broom, I'm pushing a broom. If they're watering a garden, I can water a garden with them. So we're all equal. We're all here for the same goal, is to make sure that the client gets what they paid for, and they're super excited. Just like if you were to buy a new house, a new car, where you get that feeling of, look at this, you're passionate about it, you enjoy driving it around. That's what we want clients to feel, that when they walk into their new building and say, the money I spent seemed like a lot, but it was money well spent.
So definitely taking pride in your work, being able to have that moment after the job is done to sit back and reflect and see the smile on the client's face. But since I know you, we worked together here for a number of years, and I know you personally. I know that isn't the only time that you aim to make people happy. Let's talk a little bit about you as a general contractor, the ways that you give back to the community. Because I like I said, we've known each other for a number of years. I know you're quick to help out students, to help out people in general. What are, like, when you think of some of your stories of how you've managed to give back to the community, what are some of your personal favorites where you're like, where you just felt great being able to step up and help someone and to give back before?
Obviously growing up in South Phoenix, and obviously we grew up in the projects initially before my parents bought a house there in South Phoenix. Giving back has always been a passion to me, right? Is giving back to the people, to individuals that need it, right? So to me, what better fit being in the K through 12 market where I could give back? I'm super blessed to be an owner of Rytan Construction, but giving back to the community to me is the most important to me. When I walk into these schools, whether it's elementary, high school, whatever the school needs, we know that there's backpack drives, there's teacher appreciations, there's welcome back to school day to get everybody pumped up. But, all of those are key components in getting people excited to come back to school. But then also we need to thank the individuals that come to school and actually teach our kids, that maybe one day will become a general contractor, a nurse, a doctor, a firefighter, in law enforcement. But these are the individuals that have to put up with our kids, right? And I'm super grateful for them to come in and teach our kids, but I'm also super grateful for the kids that wake up every single day to come to school and want to learn so that they could make a difference in society in general. So with that said, backpack drives, welcome, teacher luncheons, just whatever the districts need from me, I'm all in. I'm all in all the time. I'm not a seasonal general contractor. I'm a contractor that you can rely on me 24/7 at any given time.
And I know I personally have always appreciated that. And I know many of your clients, they appreciate that as well. So let's talk about, for those, again, going into the construction industry, so some of the things they can look forward to. They'll have some nice stable work, even if you're working across multiple industries, because the trades, there is some hands-on work working with all industries whenever they need that support. You touched on, especially here in Arizona, you got to be an early riser. So maybe our night owls who like to stay up till midnight and then sleep in till 9 or 10 might not be the right industry for them.
Right.
They need to have a solid work ethic, because that's what you're looking for. And I'm sure all your subcontractors are the same way, where they're also looking for that solid work ethic, that they actually take pride in the work that they do, that they put their customers first, and that they're there bright and early, ready to get the job done, ready to help each other out. What are some of the other benefits that come from being in the industry? So do they get health care? Is there going to be time off? Like, what exactly can they expect from these types of jobs in terms of other benefits besides just the paycheck, the other types of benefits? Obviously there's the intrinsic benefit of being involved in these campaigns when you give back, whether it's, for teacher appreciation, backpacks, like there's some value in that. But the more tangible benefits of like the other fringe benefits, what else comes with the package besides just salary? What kind of fringe benefits do you typically see in the construction industry?
So obviously healthcare benefits, right? I mean, we all need healthcare benefits. And, that was one of my biggest things that I really focused on is in order for you to attract good talent is that you need to have great benefits, not mediocre benefits. You need great benefits because even though we may not need them every single day, it's like your car insurance, right? We all dread paying it, but when we need it, we expect for them to pay for everything. If, let's say there's a fender bender or whatever, but insurance is super critical. 401k, right? That's for your retirement. Vacation, obviously you need to give employees their time off, right? I always encourage our employees to take their time off, just not the summertime when we're really busy. So I'm like, hey, enjoy your time, but just not during the summertime when we're super busy. But then, we give car allowances, right? For individuals that are working out in the field, right? I mean, that's a benefit that, hey, I appreciate these individuals using their vehicles to get to work, to a job site, but, 401k, car allowances, paid time off, super, super important to me. And, that's what you attract good talent and really employee bonuses. That's another great benefit is if the company does well, we reward our employees, right? And I have no problem doing that. I prefer to pay our employees and pay Uncle Sam at the end of the year. So why not spread the love to your employees? And another thing too is that we didn't touch on is the equal opportunity workforce, right? We have a workforce right now that's male driven, but we need more females. I have 4 girls, no boys, and I talk to them every single day. It's like, hey, you're just keep driving. That work ethic that you have will get you to the top. So I encourage all females as well to look into the construction industry. It's not just for males. You can make good money. And at the end of the day, just make a difference.
That is a great point. And I appreciate you bringing that point out because, yes, I think there is that stigmatism where people think, well, construction, that's just for males. So I really appreciate you putting that out there for the listeners of, look, no, if you're a female and you like to work with your hands, this industry is for you as well. You can be out here and you can be building things.
Yes.
We're going to have you out at Commitment Day. I know we got you scheduled for a booth out there, Commitment Day coming up on September 17th and 18th.
Yeah, super excited for that.
What can our students, so we're going to have over 4,000 graduating seniors that are going to be going through the booths and talking to different individuals about, what they could possibly be doing with their future, what their next step is after high school. For our seniors that are going to come visit you at your booth and they tell you like, hey, I am thinking about construction industry. What can they expect from those conversations? What contacts do you have with subcontractors where it's like, you want to be an electrician? I know the perfect person that I'm going to connect you with. It's going to help you become an electrician. Like how well connected are you that you can help get them connected? So if that's their goal in life, that you can help get them on that path and give them a foot in the door just to get them going.
Absolutely. So again, super excited for the upcoming event. We will have some female project managers there, which I think is super important for the females that are interested in talking to maybe another female as to what that entails of being a general contractor and how they came up through the ranks to become a project manager or whatever it is, whether you're a project engineer, that's where you start and you work your way up to becoming a project manager. I will have a female or 2 that work for us. I mean, we have several females that work for us, but really we'll have other male project managers or people from our firm that can sit there and explain and, give some advice to individuals that are looking to get into the construction industry. And if an individual does want to get into the, let's say, electrical industry, we have several trade partners that I would be glad to share the information that are always asking, do we know good individuals that they could hire? Because again, I mean, let's face it, in Arizona, we have a labor shortages. And I'm not, when I say labor, it doesn't mean that you're just going out there and raking rocks. We mean technical labor as well. We need all forms of labor out in our industry here in Arizona. There's not enough contractors out there right now that can handle all the work that's in Arizona. So we're always looking for good talent. And what better way to come to a high school district that has an individual that's eager to get into the industry and then show the path to success.
Well, we're definitely excited about you being a part of our event. I know we're going to have a lot of students run into your booth who are going to be looking for their next steps in the construction industry and looking to learn more from you and all of your experience in this industry. So appreciate you for being out at the event and appreciate you for being on our podcast.
Absolutely.
Here today. And appreciate all of our listeners for tuning in once again to the Education Exchange, where we aim to enlighten our parents and empower our students. We invite you to like, subscribe, and continue to follow us, and we look forward to you catching our next episode. Thank you.
And that's the end of our show. Thank you for listening. If you have questions, want more information, or would like to be a guest on the Education Exchange, please send us an email at podcast@tuhsd.org. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and tune in next week to the Education Exchange. You can catch all episodes on your favorite streaming devices or directly at www.tuhsd.org/podcast.